Our top story today. Authorities in Northern California are trying to figure out what led a gunman to randomly open fire at several locations Tuesday, including a school. Officials say the man killed several people and wounded others before police shot him dead. They believe a dispute with a neighbor may have triggered the violence. And an intense search is underway in Seminole Heights, Florida, where authorities believe a serial killer struck again, killing a man early Tuesday morning. 60-year-old Ronald Felton was shot from behind and killed. Felton was an unemployed construction worker and was walking to a neighborhood food bank to feed the homeless. Witnesses reported hearing 5 gunshots. This marks the 4th murder in Seminole Heights in 5 weeks. In local news, drinking and driving leads to a crash that flipped a car onto its top on the railroad tracks. This was a scene just after midnight this morning. Several witnesses saw a green Ford Crown Victoria speeding eastbound on State Avenue. They said the car failed to negotiate a turn, then left the roadway, struck the railroad tracks, and flipped onto its top. As officers arrived to the scene, 2 men fled from the car on foot, leaving behind a 32-year-old male who turned out to be the driver. The other 2 men who fled, ages 22 and 38, were detained 2 blocks away by police. Officers said all 3 appeared to be under the influence. The driver was taken to a local hospital to be evaluated and was then charged with the DUI. Now we go to Helena, where the special session of the Montana legislature enters its 2nd day today. On Tuesday evening, majority Republicans unveiled their fix for the state's $227 million budget hole. GOP leaders say they're unified behind their plan. Minority Democrats, however, are none too happy. The GOP plan is included mostly in 2 bills, including one that relies on $32 million transferred from a fund controlled by the company that owns a private prison in Shelby. That money would be released only if the state agrees to extend the private prison owner's contract, which expires in 2019. The other bill contains about $90 million in budget transfers, which would come in addition to $76 million in cuts already ordered by the governor. House Speaker Austin Knudsen of Culbertson says the plan is not final, but that Republicans are hopeful they can wrap things up without raising taxes. Democrats remain adamantly opposed to using the prison money, but late Tuesday night they said Republicans have written the bills so that if the prison money isn't accepted, the transfers won't happen.
We really are kind of boxed in right now, so we'll have to where the private prison is what they're forcing on us right now, because without it we don't get the transfers, and without the transfers there's 90 million more cuts that are going to have to come out of services that people in Montana depend on.
There's a lot of pieces out there. There's a lot of things on the table that we're still discussing, and there's still a lot of discussions going on. But what I will say is that we are absolutely a unified Republican caucus, which has not always been the case before. We are hoping to get out of here without raising any taxes on the people of Montana.
Governor Bullock did not comment on the plan Tuesday night. GOP leaders say they are hoping to finish up the special session today or tomorrow. In other news, another deer in Montana has tested positive for chronic wasting disease, the 2nd such confirmation this month. Fish, Wildlife and Parks officials say the mule deer buck was harvested south of Belfry about a week and a half ago. That area is primarily public land about 15 to 20 miles southwest from where Montana's first CWD case was identified. Bob Gibson, Region 5 Information and Education Manager, tells Q2 this newest case is not a surprise and will actually help better define the area that will be studied further by the agency's incident response team.
What we're trying to do now, and what we will continue to try to do with a hunt later in the year, after sometime in December, is try to figure out the extent geographically of the disease, as well as the pervasiveness, what percentage of the herd actually has it.
CWD is a progressive fatal disease that, if left untreated, can result in population declines within affected herds. If you're a deer hunter in Montana, FWP has listed all precautions and laws regarding chronic wasting disease. Those details are available on ktvq.com. Back here in Billings, if the police department giving out turkeys wasn't your idea of Thanksgiving, well, PETA is trying a different tactic. In response to officers giving away the birds to unsuspecting motorists, the animal activist group will donate 20 tofurkeys to the Billings PD. On Tuesday, Billings Police Chief Rich St. John accepted the offer. St. John says there is no shortage of families in need in Billings, and police will be happy to hand out the tofu turkeys. Tofurkey is the trademark name for a brand made of organic tofu and wheat protein. In other news, a feasibility study is underway to determine if Billings needs a new sports facility. 6 funders are backing the $60,000 study. Utah-based group Victus Advisors will conduct the study to identify amateur sports trends around the county and its needs. The goal is to identify what kind of facility would meet local and regional needs. The final analysis will be a roadmap for development.
What is going on in your market? What is their demand for from a sports standpoint? What does that mean in terms of facility opportunities, whether that's enhancing existing ones or potentially building new ones? And we, at the end, want to give you a roadmap that says, okay, if you do choose to move forward with what we see that there's demand for here, how do you do that? How do you pay for it? How do you operate it? How do you keep it ultimately sustainable for both local and regional use over the next 20, 25, 30 years?
Victus will conduct interviews with the local sports community and beyond. Results of the study will be ready in February. Meanwhile, Bridger Bowl has installed something new on the mountain that will potentially help those that need medical assistance. A new cell tower was installed during the summer near the parking deck at Bridger Bowl. So far, the cell tower has not been activated, but it should be operational sometime during the ski season. It's something the search and rescue team of Gallatin County says is much needed.
We're obviously happy that people will have the opportunity that if they're in trouble or hurt, they can call 911 and we can get there quicker. We don't have to wait for somebody to drive down to the base mountain, find a place where they have cell service on the ridge. So our ability to deliver that service just before the sun goes down as opposed to getting the call after dark makes us happy. We like working in the light. We like working earlier rather than later. It's better for us. It's better for the people that are injured.
As of right now, the only cell company occupying the cell tower is T-Mobile. Verizon Wireless has shown interest. Officials with Bridger Bowl say they are not sure if AT&T wants to use the tower. Back here in Billings, the Montana Women's Run has been a staple in our community for more than 30 years. With this year's donations, the race has provided area organizations with more than $1 million. Here is the breakdown of this year's contributions. The YWCA receives $36,000. $27,000 will go to the Billings Clinic Foundation. $18,000 goes to the Billings YMCA. And finally, $5,500 goes to both the Rocky Mountain College and MSUB cross-country scholarship programs. And we can't end this morning without saying thank you for all of the generous donations yesterday. We collected 744 turkeys for Turkey Tuesday. It was a never-ending stream of cars dropping off the donations. Through the snow and rain, people turned out to help make a difference in our community. From all of us right here at Q2, we want to say thank you.